We are live for virtual Mayor's Night Out. We were supposed to do Mayor's Night Out. I believe it was supposed to be in the 5th District, which is my home district. And unfortunately, we're all sort of sheltering in place to a certain extent. Right now, we're going to do Mayor's Night Out virtual today. Today was this regularly scheduled day. It's going to have to be different, though. You know, what you see before you is 9 people probably. But I'm going to tell you everybody we have represented. Right now, we have representatives on this Zoom call from Parks, Police, Fire, Legal Aid, Engineering Department, the Sanitary Department, the Environmental Department, the Sportsplex, my Chief of Staff. I got Building and Zoning. I got Hammond Sanitary District again. I got IT, Planning, Water, Code Enforcement, Community Development, Economic Development. I got Hammond Housing, Personnel, United Neighborhoods Inc., Hammond City Hall with the Controller's Office, with Department of Public Works. Let's see. I got a lot of people on here. Think I got everybody? Yes. And so anyway, everybody's here to be able to answer your question. The way you submit questions is going through the Go Hammond website and submitting them on Facebook. So if you have a question for myself, like we would normally do in Mayor's Night Out, please submit them in the comments section. And then my Chief of Staff, Phil, is working in the IT department, connected up to another iPad here. I will get the questions that way, and we'll try to do Mayor's Night Out. So let's go ahead, and I want to start off. The governor of the state of Indiana today came out with, he is letting Indiana enter into stage 3 of the grand reopening. Unfortunately for us in Lake County, for Cass County in Indiana, and for Marion County in Indiana, we are not allowed to go into stage 3 until June 1st. So we got moved back a week. So stage 3, which starts tomorrow in the other counties in Indiana, except for Cass, it's 87 counties, except for Cass, Marion, and Lake County. They're allowed to gather in groups of up to 100 people now, as of tomorrow. They are allowed to, retail and shopping centers are allowed to go up to 75% capacity. Gyms and fitness clubs can reopen in other parts of the state. Unfortunately, not here. Community pools can reopen. So across the state, still closed movie theaters, playgrounds, bars and nightclubs, cultural entertainment like museums and stuff like that, sports venues, elementary and high school buildings still closed. Even though we're in stage 3 across the state of Indiana, you're still encouraged to stay home if you're over 65. You're still encouraged to wear masks in public, and you're still encouraged to socially distance properly. This is still out there. It's still a dangerous disease. Last I checked, Hammond had 500 cases just in Hammond with 14 fatalities. So this is the real deal. It's still out there. People are still getting sick. People are still dying, unfortunately. We're just trying to balance life in 2020 with this dangerous disease that's out there on our streets. So we are not going into stage 2, until June 1st in Lake County, which means we're still limited to capacity limits of 25. We're still limited to 50% in retail and shopping centers. Gyms and fitness clubs cannot open, including the Sportsplex, until June 1st. Community pools will not open. Splash pads will not open. Playgrounds not open. Outdoor basketball courts, outdoor soccer courts, outdoor baseball practice, outdoor everything, not yet. We have to be in stage 3 first. No sports venues, schools are closed. So in Lake County, we're still in a lot more serious situation than the rest of the state of Indiana. Like I said, we still have 500 cases in Hammond alone and 14 fatalities. So we've been building up questions over the through the comment section. I do want to start off and go to one of my department heads right off the bat, Ann Anderson, who wants to explain. We announced a new Hammond program yesterday, a residency program that's going to help Hammond businesses. And I wanted Ann to be able to say a couple words and talk about that program. Ann, can you hear me?
I can. Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, so in the city hall, our department has been working on some kind of financial assistance program that we can create in order to help these small businesses, the backbone of our community, to survive this pandemic and support them financially. We are receiving some federal dollars that we can use in order to give these small businesses an influx of financial assistance. The program, we are fine-tuning it right now. We will have the application ready on our website and our social media outlets on Wednesday, May 27th. So it'll be ready in 1 week, and it'll be open for about a month until June 26th. At that point, we will review all the applications, go through their financials to make sure that they were indeed affected by the pandemic financially, which, yes, most likely they were. And
So what types of business will qualify for this, Ann?
any kind of for-profit business in the city of Hammond that has employees 50 or less amount. And
So like a McDonald's would be able to apply then, or?
No, they're going to be small independent shops, no large chains at this point. We have to kind of narrow the funds down to some point, so we're focusing on the smaller independent companies in Hammond.
So we're thinking like the House of Pizzas, the El Taco Reals, the Shoots, things of that nature.
Absolutely. Barber shops, nail salons, pet groomers, all sorts of companies out there. Ever since you dropped the press release yesterday afternoon, our phone has been ringing like crazy today. So we are going to be all ready for them on Wednesday to start receiving the applications.
That's great. So I mean, everything's online then on Go Hammond?
Yep, everything will be on gohammond.com, Go Hammond Facebook page, our Facebook page. We'll put it on Twitter. We'll just get it out there for everyone to see. And then if anyone has any questions, they can call our department directly, and we can have hard copies available of the application as well.
And this is extra money came from the federal government through the HUD program, right?
That's right. That's right. Yep. And they're loosening up their guidelines so we can shoot this straight towards economic development and assist these businesses and make it through this crisis that we're in right now.
Yeah, I know. I talked to a few hair salons during the crisis that were closed from the moment the shutdown started, and they just got to reopen a couple days ago, and
yeah,
they're desperate. And
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been working real hard and real fast on this, so we'll have it out there in 1 week.
Awesome. Thanks, Ann. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, I got a question about the last storm we had. So I'm gonna ask Marty and Jack to go ahead and unmute, if that's all right. You guys hear me? I saw you guys out there. Hi, Jack. How's it going? Marty, you unmuted?
I am.
I'm impressed with you, Marty, by the way. I didn't think you're gonna be able to handle the Zoom thing.
Well, see, that's my grandfather up there in the corner. And
all right, so the question is, how did Hammond fare with Dean? Could you unmute also, City Engineer Dean Button? How did Hammond handle the recent high water event from the storm? Basically, how much we got? What, something like 6 inches of rain, 7 inches of rain in a couple day period?
Yes, exactly right.
What was the exact number?
Exact number of
Marty?
Well, I can tell you that Hesco got hit with 4 inches on Sunday evening.
So how many total backups did we have, Jack?
Total of 6 basement backups that were confirmed. I had 24 homeowner issues, which that can consent from no inspection, their lateral line discharging, their sump pump line discharging into their lateral line. And we had several refusals that wouldn't let us in. And 12 street floodings.
Okay. And hey, Dean, you know any other facts about this storm? I know, Dean, you were watching the Little Calumet River a lot. Did you talk a little bit about the river situation?
Yeah, certainly, Mayor. Thank you. So I was measuring the precipitation because it was coming from the southwest, and I saw the recorded rain gauge in Dyer at Hart Ditch at 5 inches of rain over that storm period. So we were working closely with the Little Cal. We had some interior drainage problems, as Jack had mentioned, particularly on River Drive, and then a little bit on Carlson Drive by Oxbow Landing, just surface flooding for the most part. We weathered it very well. We didn't quite hit the action limit to close and barricade Northcott. We just simply closed. It was a decision between the Hammond, the Little Calumet River, and Munster to just close the bridge at Northcott to traffic only. We did not erect a barrier. It never did reach the action limit where we would have to close and dam off the roadway. So I think we did real well in the end. I know in North Hammond, we're dealing with a lot of other issues relative to flooding. I've been working with the state on Calumet Avenue underneath the Indiana Toll Road. And I know that the marina has been seeing, record high levels on Lake Michigan. And that's, we're seeing that activity up in Robertsdale.
Okay. Marty, got anything to add?
Well, the only thing I would say is that the plant functioned really well. Different parts of the city, South Hammond got the most rain, over 3 inches in a very short period. It's kind of rare up in Robertsdale and North Hammond. They had about 1 inch or so less. Most of the backups that we had were in South Hammond, the Hessville area. So, we hate to see anybody get any backup into their basement. But Jack, I think you would agree with me. For the amount of rain that we had, we were very fortunate, I think.
I would agree with you, Marty. I agree.
Thank
Very
you, guys.
fortunate.
Hey, Marty, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
What's up with your backdrop? Are you in the White House or something like that?
It's really cool because they have different backdrops that you can actually pick. And the girls were putting this together for me today, and they thought this was the most appropriate one for me.
Oh, really? Is there something I should know about here?
No.
All right. I like it. The White House backdrop. All right. Good job. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. Hey, Mark Hines, could you go ahead and unmute? Mylan Krasinski, could you unmute? I got a question about the 4th of July fireworks and the Festival of the Lakes. And I'm going to go to you guys for that one. So, Mylan, why don't we start first with you? Are you there? Hey, what's up? Where are you? I'm trying to find your face here.
No face. No.
Oh,
I'm at the marina and I'm in my Speedo, so no.
really? Really? Well, Marty's at the White House, so that's good.
Yep.
I'm just here in City Hall. So, Mylan, a question about 4th of July. Do we have any plans for 4th of July? I know we've talked a little bit about if it would be possible. I mean, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yes. So it's not going to be the normal 4th of July events that we've hosted now for at least 5 or 6 years up at the pavilion, where we had the ceremony to bring in new U.S. citizens. Then we had a little bit of a concert and a big band kind of music, and then the fireworks display from the island right around 9:30, 10 o'clock. What we're trying to do is work out a detail with the Mad Bomber, who can maybe take this fireworks display and make 4 fireworks displays throughout the city of Hammond. Hopefully we'll be able to work either with the park department and Mark Hines or the school city and utilize some of one of their facilities as we go to the 4 corners of the city of Hammond or sides of the city of Hammond, and have a spread out fireworks display so everybody could enjoy it mainly from their backyards, hopefully.
I love this idea. This is something when we're talking about it publicly, and it's something we're fleshing out right now. But, I love the 4th of July personally. And, if we had a fireworks display at the PAV, I'm sure people far and wide would go to the PAV, which sort of defeats the purpose. So the idea Mylan and I were talking about is taking a fireworks display to each high school around the city and having like a simultaneous citywide fireworks celebration. So, and then you could theoretically, most people could stay right in their driveway and watch the city fireworks display, and it'll be sort of local. So it's one of the ideas we were discussing. So,
Yep, we're hoping it could come to fruition, Mayor.
Okay, Mylan, another thing, since I'm going to go to Mark next so we can talk Festival of the Lake. So Mark, why don't you get ready? But Mylan, since we're talking right now, why don't you go ahead and let us all know what's going on at the Port Authority right now, Lost Marsh, the marina, anything like that?
Sure. Let's start at Lost Marsh. Golf course is open, and we're doing really well. A lot of full tee sheets. So if anyone out there needs a tee time, please call the Lost Marsh or go online, and you could hopefully get a tee time in the next 2 weeks. It's good. It's a good thing that we're that busy. And we're going out now in 2 people per cart. So that's happening as well. So twosomes are going out.
So you're saying you're real busy, Mylan?
Yes, we are extremely.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot of residents from other states?
Yes, definitely.
Mhm.
Probably 95%, Mayor.
Wow.
Look
And
at-
they pay higher rates, which is nice. So
yeah, they do. And
Mhm.
we are in regular summer season rates as well. So
Mhm.
it's okay. We need to make up for some lost time, about a month of lost revenue this spring.
Yes, we do.
Yep. So as we know at the pavilion, and I'm working my way from the golf course to the pavilion, eventually to the marina. The pavilion, we're not going to have much activity at all this summer, just because of all the distancing and the gatherings and the large crowds that would normally come out to the pavilion. We're keeping our fingers crossed, Mayor, and taking your direction on what we might be able to do for our WHAM rides in early August.
Mhm.
That WHAM could still take place.
That'd be nice.
Yep. So and that we could do, I think, with some good distancing. So that should work out just fine. And then now up to the marina, as you know, and you've been out here a number of times. We've been getting beat up the whole winter with different storms. So number one, we don't have much of a beach left. Number two, what's left of the beach, we're going to be bringing in some heavy equipment next week, and maybe even into the week after, to remove a lot of the debris. It's unfortunate. It's not good. Where our lifeguard stands normally would be, it's underwater. So we're going to make the best out of this situation. Folks just need to have patience, and we'll get it done. It's just going to take a little bit more time.
All right. Thanks, Mylan.
You're welcome.
Let's go next to Hammond Parks Department with Mark Hines. Mark, before we talk fest, question from the internet: when will the parks open back up to the public? So right off the bat, what do you have to say? Did we lose Mark? I'm looking for him. I'm scrolling. I thought Mark was on here.
He's on here, Mayor. You just can't hear him.
I need some IT help here. Okay.
Shows he's connected.
All right. He's AWOL.
Can you hear me there?
So, Mark?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Okay, I don't know what was going on there, but all right. There was, as you mentioned earlier, there was some news today from the governor. His announcement, he did change some things for us locally here. We were anticipating parks opening up this coming Sunday of Memorial Day weekend, and for Lake County and Marion, the area, Indianapolis area, that got pushed back or delayed until June 1st, is the plan there. Also, another big interesting change, and he said the official signed executive order won't be out till tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to reading that because he changed directions on playgrounds. He said that they're not going to open those till probably middle of June. There's an article on the Northwest Indiana Times, and it's quoted from the state health department doctor saying that they're just worried about those touchable surfaces being contaminated and spreading things that way. So that'll be interesting to see how he changes that. But otherwise, our beginning on June 1st, we're anticipating that our athletic fields, soccer courts, basketball courts, baseball fields would be available for practicing through organized activities.
That's probably the most common question I'm getting from parents right now is,
Yeah.
when can we start practicing baseball, soccer,
Right.
softball, basketball, volleyball?
And I think the other thing that's interesting too about his announcement today is the delay of a week. We were under the impression, he wasn't clear in the very first plan that he put out, what we were under the impression that we were going to be back on schedule with the whole rest of the state beginning on this phase. That we're delayed now going into stage 3. It's an unknown about going into stage 4 or stage 5 if we'll also be delayed in those weeks. If so, that's going to delay the actual. Right now, his schedule is June 14th can start things like games and tournaments. We're ready for that. If he delays us a week, that's going to hurt us. We already have a schedule. We have a tournament starting on scheduled for June 14th at the Sportsplex, and that would take away from that, for instance, for us.
Agree. So that's problematic, but it's the governor. And last time I checked, he's higher up on the food chain than I. So, and legally in Indiana, we're allowed to be more restrictive than the governor, but we cannot be less restrictive than the governor. So if we wanted to keep it closed longer, we could legally. We can't go sooner.
But I do want to point out, Mayor, and since obviously you've been in office, the amount of some of the things that are being used so popularly in our parks or within our city are the greenways, the bike paths, the bike trails that connect our communities, not only the ones within our parks, but the bigger, larger greenways. And again, those are the things that really, I think, where people can get out, get their 10,000 steps a day, get their 30 minutes of exercise, to be active in their community right now when they're not able to be in the parks, on the playgrounds, or playing court games or anything along those lines.
So another question from the internet, when can somebody reserve a park for a party or a gathering? After June 1st?
We are holding off right now. We probably won't book anything until after July 1st at this point, because of also when you do book those, there's smaller percentages that they're allowing. So I think that at this point we're playing this stage by stage right now. We are trying to allow to have activities out there, but the surface issue with touching, and I think that the individual private types of activities of family functions, family reunions, graduation parties, we got to remember we want to keep social distancing, and those are events that just don't lend that to encourage that when you bring families that closely together, the extended families. And that's the worry I think that the governor is specifically saying in some of his orders, in relaying things about, specifically pointing out, especially things like weddings and showers and things like that, that they're trying to avoid those types of activities.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Hey, Jim Talon, could you unmute real quick?
Yep.
You there? When are you going to start allowing people back in the building to walk in the walking trail upstairs, B, start practicing on the gym floor and stuff like that, and then tournaments? When do you envision those 3 things happening?
Right. As of after today's announcement, we are going to start June 1st. We're going to open up for the walkers. What we'll do is allow the walkers in from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We get the majority of our walkers in the morning anyhow. And then at 4 p.m., we're going to open up 3 of the basketball courts and start doing the basketball practices for our in-house. And we have some other people that want to come and rent the courts. It'll be parent drop off initially on some of those, so we can limit, because at that point it's only 100 people allowed. So we would stay under that number by only utilizing 3 of the basketball courts instead of 6 of them. And then right now we did have a smaller tournament, an initial tournament June 14th. I think that's going to back up probably until June 20th, 21st, which is the Father's Day weekend right now, is what it looks like for the tournaments at this point.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it. Okay. Johnny Perez. Oh, no. Donna Muta, could you unmute real quick? I know you're out there. Hi, Donna.
Hi, Mayor.
Hey, I got a question about the Festival of the Lakes, and I want to ask you a question. You and I have done this a couple times together. By the way, hi, Sharon. Nice to see you there.
Hello.
Make sure you two are socially distancing.
We are.
Okay. When do you start working on the next fest?
Already. I am already, Mayor.
I know, but like last year after the 2019 fest ended, when did you start booking bands for the 2020 fest?
Probably we started looking around in, I would say November.
Yeah. I mean, no clue at that time when we're signing bands that there's going to be a pandemic in 2020. We just assume, obviously, we're going to have a fest like we always do. And then a pandemic comes along, right?
Yeah, we were way ahead of schedule, and then the pandemic hit.
Yeah. So the question is, what are we going to do about the fest this year? I've been asked this question 10,000 times since the shelter in place. There's people that really badly want to see Snoop and Rise Against and Limp Bizkit and the OJs and Banda
Los Tecanes de Tijuana.
Los Tecanes de Tijuana. We had a great lineup. What's
I can
that?
tell you what we're working on right now, Mayor, is trying to move those acts that will be available in 2021 to our festival dates in 2021.
I think that's smart. So like if we can get Snoop to agree to come back in 21 instead of 20, all is good in the world, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
What's going on with this camera? It's about to fall on the floor. So basically to answer the gentleman's question from earlier, thank you very much, Don. I appreciate it. For
You're
us
welcome.
to even possibly break even at a festival, it's not possible with social distancing. And with the budget problems that we have because of the 2-month shutdown and the revenue losses and everything we're dealing with, the casino boats shut down, knowing that we're going into a festival looking to lose a big figure is something I can't do. You know, as a good mayor, I can't do it. And so obviously we're dealing with this just like a lot of other fests by, canceling the Festival of the Lakes. Unfortunately, we're working with our bands to try to get them rebooked for 2021. And if they can't, then we'll have to go through the process to disentangle, because I don't see us having concerts this summer, and I don't see us being able to put on a concert this summer where we will at least make our money back, which is always our goal. I just don't see how we could do that while having social distancing, not getting closer to 6 feet from each other. I just can't see how that's going to work. So it's unfortunate, and believe me, it breaks my heart, but I just don't see any way around it. So anyway, Johnny Perez, could you unmute real quick? I saw you out there. Hi, Johnny. Excuse me. You there, Johnny? Forcing me to look for him. Hold on.
He's working on it.
Hey, Johnny.
Hi. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How you doing? Nice to see you. You at home?
Yes, sir.
Nice. I got a question for
This is
Johnny.
awesome.
Is the assistant? What are you? The superintendent? What's your title there? It's number 2, the Public Works.
Deputy Director.
Deputy Director of Public Works. Johnny works with Gary Gleason. They're a great team. They manage about 150 men and women, and these people are responsible for picking up all of our trash, maintaining our streets, maintaining our parks, cleaning up the snow, potholes, overgrown trees. What else am I missing? The alleys. So a very busy job. During the coronavirus pandemic, we had special rules for pickups. Can you talk a little bit about those special rules to remind the public?
Yes, Mayor. Right now in every truck we have sanitizer. The guys wear gloves. We provide the mask. Right now, due to the COVID-19, a lot of things change, especially when we come to pick up the mattresses. Right now, the mattress has to be wrapped in plastic. However, if we go through an alley, we don't see them wrapped. We try to leave a note to the resident or try to get in contact with the resident to wrap the mattresses. The garbage has increased because whatever don't fit on the recycling can, which is those cardboards, as we know, once the cardboard gets wet, it's contaminated and recycling won't take it. So, which is increased our input in the garbage. And we try to have the people to wear, our workers to wear a mask in order to be, not only for them to be safe, but also for the families. It's pretty busy. Things have changed, but we'll manage it.
Okay. We just recently started cutting grass in the parks again. True?
That's true. Right now, as you know, because all this rain, we're going all the way around until we see a bottle of water or a pond or something. We stay away. I don't know if you now noticed throughout the parks, some sections are cut, the other ones are untouched, because if we go in there, we're gonna sink the landmarks and make a bigger mess, especially on some of this part.
Okay, thanks, Johnny. Next question's
Thank
for
you,
the Hammond Police Department. Could you go ahead and unmute JD? How you doing, sir?
How you doing, sir?
Good. You know, you and I have been laughing about this a lot because during this shutdown, the Hammond Police Department and the Hammond Mayor's Office have become the essential police. You know, is this essential? My business, my neighbor is not essential, and they're doing this. Another thing that we're constantly getting calls about is kids that are in the parks that aren't supposed to be in the parks, right?
Yes, correct.
So I have a question on the internet that we're just reading off. Can we arrest people that are violating the governor's orders?
We
That's
do
just a
have,
question.
yes, we do technically have that authority in extreme cases, yes.
So we've never done that in Hammond though, right?
We have not. The most we've done is write a citation. I'm very happy to say that our citizens are very good at negotiating. So our officers, we get a lot of calls and we go out and talk to them, and we get almost 100% compliance every time.
In the citation we wrote, I don't want to revisit that issue, but it was on the front page of the paper. It was sort of, it was like a national story too, right?
Yeah, and that's when everything just started. And it was, you know, it's almost like at that point that an example needed to be set because it was like an open defiance issue. And it could have treated the officers better also.
Yeah, and by the way, that was the only time we dealt with that issue also. It was a one-time deal. It was not fun though.
Right. No, but it was fixed. And, you know, maybe it set the example that if we needed to be, we could be serious, but we were trying not to be.
Let me ask you a question. You've been a police officer a long time, 25 years?
36.
So, good, 36. So let's say you're driving down the street, JD, and you pass the skateboard park and you see two kids in the skateboard park, one on one side of the skateboard park, another kid on the other side of the skateboard park, and they're just skating around. They're totally by themselves. How does the Hammond police officer handle a situation like that?
We use common sense, Mayor. As long as they're being safe, socially distancing, we generally, if they're following every other social distance rule, you know, we're going to let that go probably because they're being safe, and outside is safer than inside. So we're probably going to let that go most of the time unless we have a complaint.
Like there's one kid, he's out there at 7 a.m. and there's nobody else there. You're like, right?
Right.
Maybe.
It's not much different than you're on the bike path to us because that's allowed. So we don't see a crowd or the distancing rules wherever we're at, whether it's 5, 10, 25, or the 100 we're going to go to. As long as those rules are being followed and we don't have active complaints coming in and we see that they are being safe, we're honoring that pretty much.
So you drive by the MLK basketball courts and you see one kid on each court shooting baskets. Probably not going to get out of our car and say, hey, get off the court, right? Just common sense.
Probably not. And as you know, Mayor, we have some other things to do also. So, you know, and like you said, we try not to be the essential police because we want to stay friendly with everybody, especially during these hard times. And but if there's an open violation and we think people are at risk, you know, we're going to make contact.
There's one place I see, like the outdoor fenced-in soccer field, though. I went by the other day, I saw 20 kids in there. Different story, right? Because they're obviously not social distancing.
Yeah, I'm not social distancing and against the rules right now.
Right. Okay. So it's just, I think it's important for residents to hear how a police officer would approach situations like that, because technically you guys could be stopping your car every 20 feet and telling people, you know, you're not wearing your mask, you're not socially distancing, you just don't do that. I mean, realistically.
Realistically, right. And we've gone to multiple house parties, and every one of those, Mary, they've overdone it. They've been wrong. But every single visit to every single residence in Hammond, negotiation worked. The parties were shut down. We never got a second call. So, like I said, kudos to the Hammond residents for that.
Okay. Thanks, Chief. Appreciate it. Okay. Africa and Brian Poland and Dean Button, can you guys unmute? I got a question about the South Shore expansion, and I wanted to get an update from one of you guys on the South Shore expansion. Brian, are you there? Why don't you go ahead, Brian? You've been working on the task force, I know, right?
Yes, we actually had a Zoom meeting with the TDD committee this morning. And, I think a lot of it is just waiting for the federal action, the federal financing to come in. The committee is still doing all the preparatory work. We specifically talked about the TDD district, the transportation districts, the boundaries. The RDA is working with all the different communities, both on the Westlake corridor as well as the double tracking side of the project. And as that progresses, we'll have more and more meetings, go out to the public and talk about how we're going to establish those boundaries.
Okay. Africa, you're my appointee to the Regional Development Authority. Could you give us an update from your seat on the RDA about the project? In your opinion, it's not 100%, but it's pretty close, right?
It is pretty close. Actually, at this point in time, Mayor, we're waiting for a full funding agreement, which we believe we'll receive in fall of 2020 for the Westlake Corridor project. We've also been given permission to enter into the engineering phase, whereas in that phase, we'll complete the design work as well as engineering work. That's where we're at with Westlake. As you know, with Double Track, that project is moving forward, but it's a little, it's behind Westlake. So we're expecting a full funding agreement with that sometime in the summer of 2021. But both projects are moving forward as much as possible.
Thank you. Ann, could you unmute real quick? We did a lot of work with renowned city planner Jeff Speck. I know you were working real close on that project. Is there any progress being made? I know that we were going really hot and heavy with the walkable downtown and Jeff Speck's vision for downtown Hammond, and then all of a sudden, bam, shelter in place, coronavirus. Where did we leave off in that? And we're still moving forward with that plan, right?
Absolutely. We have 2 requests for proposals for 2 different multi-use residential developments in downtown, a larger one on the vacant parking lot and a smaller one on the former JCPenney site. The developers are all very interested. They're looking forward to moving forward. They have not stalled. They do not want to slow down. So we're continually working with them and seeing how we can assist them. But yeah, we are definitely moving forward.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Dean, could you chime in a little bit? And Dean's a Hammond City engineer. I know he's working real close with everybody on this project as well.
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah. So just to update on some of the construction process, NICD is acquiring parcels in the North Hammond area, Gosland, Wabash, Marble Street. And they have started, so they've acquired parcels and then they've started to do some demolition in that area. As Africa said, they went to engineering design, and then and they've selected a contractor to move forward with that. And then we also have a concurrent project going on Gosland Street where we're reconstructing the area around the TOD. That'll make a much better improvement where the gateway station is going to go. So there's a lot of activity up front now, moving forward to get the Westlake going.
Thank you, Dean. Appreciate it. Next, Jeff Smith, the Hammond Fire Chief. Could you go ahead and unmute? And Chief Doty, I want you to unmute after Jeff gets done. I want a COVID update from the front lines. Obviously, the Hammond police officers and Hammond firefighters are the first line of defense dealing with the public on a daily basis, and they face extreme risks because of that. So we've been monitoring PPE levels with our first responders, also monitoring the number of positives that we have or had. Jeff, could you go ahead and give us an update? I know a lot of people haven't been watching the coronavirus updates, so same kind of thing we would do for the task force, if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah, we went back and checked our records. Since March 1st up until yesterday, we've had 664 calls for service with people that think they had the COVID symptoms. So out of the 664, we only had 30 people that we that came out positive that we transported. So just 30 of them out of the 664 that we got called out for.
Mm-hmm.
As far as PPE, we're doing pretty good. We're still using masks every day. Probably 90% of the calls we go on, they're putting a mask on no matter what the call is, except for a fire call, because they're they're going to have their mask. They're going to have their other mask on anyway. We had 10 guys that we had tested for the virus, and we only had 2 positive. They are both back at work, have been for a couple weeks now. So, we're just staying on top of it as much as we can. And
then originally we were having real bad problems with the lag time for the tests. You're not having that problem anymore, right?
Not now, but we haven't anybody tested in about 3 weeks.
Right.
Nobody that we had to send, but at one time, yeah, they were telling us 2 to 3 days, and we had one guy at 7 days. We're waiting, and the guy's off. We're waiting to get his results. He doesn't know if he's got it, and I think.
And that was great. That was early too, because then we didn't know what to do, because all of the people that work the same shift as him, are they supposed to take time off? Or are we supposed to shut the house down? I mean, that was some pretty scary days early on.
Yeah, that was fairly early. I said probably end of March, 1st of April sometime, 30 days into the pandemic, but we got through. We had that fire station actually cleaned by some professional company, came in and sanitized the whole thing, because we just wanted to put our guys' minds at ease too for a while, because they were freaked out because they worked close with the guy, and unfortunately he caught it from his wife. He didn't catch it from anybody at work. He got it from his wife. So, and then the other firefighter, we don't know where he got it from. He is assigned to the ambulance. He could have got it outside of work also. So, but he definitely tested positive, so he was off for 14 days.
Okay.
We're all back now, just still going on calls.
All right, I'm going to go to the Hammond Police Department next. JD, can you give me an update similar to what Chief Smith just did? PPP levels, any positive police officers, how many you've dealt with so far, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we had one positive early on, and he got it from a social gathering outside of the police department, we believe. He's back at work doing fine. He never was in serious jeopardy. We have another officer off right now because he has a family member in the house that has tested positive. He has tested negative, but as a precaution, he's staying home until she's symptom-free, and then he's symptom-free 3 days after she's done. But as of right now, he's had 2 people in his household had it, and he doesn't got it, so it doesn't look like he's going to, or he's had it and didn't know it. So we're doing very well. An interesting statistic came out of New York, and it seems to bode well for Hammond as well. Actually, police, firefighters, and nurses in general are less likely to be infected, because we're really good at regimenting ourselves and using our PPE. We're using our mask. We're preparing ourselves before we go into residence and make contact with people. I think Jeff will acknowledge that his firemen are well prepared for whatever's coming when they go through the door. And we have 205 officers, and we have 1 that tested positive, and we're always going into the bad places. So if you do what you're told, and you do social distancing and wear the mask and just use some precautions, you're going to do pretty well. It's bearing out.
Thank you. Appreciate it, JD. All right, Chris Campbell, could you unmute? It's unprecedented. We have a question for IT. Does not happen very often. You out there? I believe it. Somebody must have done this to you on purpose. But the question is about the 311 app, Chris. Mayor, we were told you can use the 311 app to report graffiti or potholes. How do I download this app? Sounds wonderful. I added that last part.
Well, it's as easy as adding Facebook to your phone. So if you're here, you should be able to get it. If you have an Android or iOS device, you can go to wherever you get your apps, do a search for Hammond 311, and install it. It's pretty simple and easy to use.
Does it cost any money?
It's completely free to the citizens, and it's a great communication tool. I'll do a little commercial if you want.
Please.
So
we're trying to kill time here.
I've got nothing but time. So Hammond 311 is meant for organizations that are out and about. It's the people that are in the neighborhoods. Maybe they're walking their dog and they see a street light out. They bust out their phone. They have the app. It takes the GPS location from your phone and sends it to us. So you don't even have to really know where the problem is. The phone does, so therefore we will. We have pre-programmed questions, the most common stuff, like you said, the graffiti, the potholes, streetlight outages. So you can pick those from a drop-down list and add a little bit of information. Sometimes we ask questions, maybe there's a little bit more we need to know. And you don't have to worry about who you're supposed to send that to, because the app is designed to send it to the right department. So it cuts through all that red tape, and you don't have to wonder, when is this, when are we going to get that information? When is it going to be taken care of? Because you're updated as we change the status on that. So if you do submit like a pothole, you'll be notified that the street department has been notified. It'll let you know when the supervisor has that on their list of to do. And then when it's done, you'll get another little email that basically says we've completed the task. So it's really a great tool if you are out and about in the community, and it's a great way to reach out to the city of Hammond and let us know what's going on.
Okay. Can you renew your animal licenses now? Can you do that on 311? No, right?
Not on 311. It's more of a reporting tool, but you can go to gohammond.com, and we do have animal license renewals there.
Okay.
And
I asked you a question I was supposed to ask Megan. I'm sorry. I gave it to the wrong person. Hey, Megan, could you unmute? Sorry, Chris. Good job.
Thank you.
Hi, Mayor.
Hey, Megan. Hi, Megan. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Question. Can I renew my animal licenses now at City Hall? That's not from me. That's from a caller. I have updated my animal licenses for the record. So, but this caller wants to do so, and they want to come into City Hall. Can they do that?
Yes. So we're completely set up to follow all guidelines and just make sure that all of the customers that want to come into City Hall are at safe distancing. We're allowing one person into our office at a time. So it may take a little bit longer if there's a line, but you can definitely come in and renew your license.
Okay. How's everything else going?
Pretty good. Yeah, it's definitely different. Fun time to be a new controller, but
how long have you been a controller?
Gosh, it's been 4 months now.
And then a freaking pandemic breaks out right as soon as you start, right?
Just my luck.
Well, this is like a worst case scenario. You could get the worst case scenario out at the very beginning. So
yeah.
So all right, thank you very much, Megan. It's good to see you. I'm going to go to Hammond Housing next. Carmen Paniagua, can you please unmute Carmen?
Okay.
Hi, Carmen. How you doing?
Good, Mayor. How are you?
Good. I see Carmen all the time when we do our coronavirus task force meetings, but I don't think I've talked to you since March, since we went into lockdown.
We have been literally locked down, so no.
That's good. It's good to see you. How's everything going at the Hammond Housing Authority? I mean, I hear a lot about people are afraid for nursing homes, obviously, people in nursing homes. We have long-term care facilities, and we have similar types of facilities under the Hammond Housing Authority with the Huber-Humphrey homes. Do we have any COVID-19 problems in our buildings? Are we operating in it differently because of this?
We have not had any issues. We have been monitoring the residents, talking to them to make sure they're doing okay. If they need anything, to let us know so we can try to assist them as fast as we can. We are limiting their visits, though. We are limiting to 2 guests per resident. And also everyone that's out of their apartment should wear a face covering, whether it's a mask or some sort of covering, just so we're safer in the area. We are monitoring that everybody keeps social distancing from everybody. But as best as we can, we're operating, I guess, as normal as we can for right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good news, though. I mean, so we have no outbreaks amongst your employees, nothing in Huber-Humphrey?
No, nothing so far right now. We're only addressing the emergency and the urgent work orders that come in. But before we go into somebody's unit, we are asking them if they have any symptoms or if anyone's feeling under the weather. Maintenance and property management, whoever is going into these units, they must wear a mask and gloves. So we are taking precautions as best as we can.
Awesome. Thank you very much. It's good to see you again.
You too.
All right. Chief Doty, could you please unmute? I know the answer to this. I just want to make sure that if our license plates are expired, do we have an extra time or an extension to get that done?
Yes. Yeah, they did extend that till June 2nd. And I was going to mention that to you, that we do know that the BMV is open half-time right now on a limited basis. Emissions is open full-time. So we have been doing VIN checks again at the PD. We started this week. We're doing that full-time basis. Just come on by. You can call first if you want, and make sure auto detail is available if you like. Make sure it's convenient. But we want to help that process if that's something you need. If you bought a car from Illinois, you need to get a check before you go over there.
Okay, and then, so if one of your officers saw a tag that was May, I mean, technically they could pull the person over, right? But
Correct. We're not, from the time this event started, we're not writing a ticket that was expired during the event. If
so
you
March, April, May, basically.
correct. If you have plates that have been expired a year, that's kind of on you.
Yeah, December, December 19. Hey,
Yeah.
I procrastinated. Okay, thanks, Chief. Good to see
You're
you. All right, Mayor, would you do another Zoom meeting with school city students in the future? I love doing that. That was really fun. It was like we're doing now. I did it with a bunch of high school kids and a bunch of elementary school kids. I would definitely do that again in the future. I'd rather be face to face with them though. That's more my style. So, let's see. How about alarm permits? Is a form available online? Good question. I imagine that's another IT question, which is unprecedented. Two in the same. Campbell, can you hear me?
Yeah, I was trying to pretend like I was disconnected.
How about alarm permits? This is like a good question because I don't really get alarm permits on mine very often. So
I'm actually going online to look myself. That would be at the police department because they actually take that. I know Tiffany, a coworker here, recently paid one, so they are taking it.
But it's by it. They send it to you in the mail though, and you send it back in the mail, right?
I honestly don't know.
I mean, some IT departments would probably take care of that. I mean, some of them would.
Mayor, your answer is yes to that question.
What's that?
What you were just talking about, the alarm permits.
You could do it over online?
No.
No.
Thank you, Amy. Hi, Amy. How's it
Sorry,
going?
hi.
Nice to see you. Amy's works in the controller's office. Good to see you, Amy. I'd rather look at Amy than look at you anyway, Jack. I'll be honest with you.
I agree.
So, Amy, so we have to do this all by mail, the old-fashioned way is what we're saying, right?
Yes, it all gets mailed to the police department. The police department will then do their processing, and then they send it to the controller's office to be receipted.
Awesome. I got a new goal now. I want to get this all online. This is perfect.
Yeah.
Campbell just got homework. He's sitting there getting work piled up. So awesome. Good to see you, Amy. Thanks.
Take
Appreciate
care.
it. All right.
I accidentally muted you when you said something about me. I don't know what you said, so.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. The next IT guy will knock it out real quick, I'm sure.
I'm sure. I left 3 envelopes for that guy.
Thanks, Chris. So maybe that is something, I just got that in the mail. I have an alarm system in my house and I have to send a check. I want to say it's like $50 to the Hammond Police Department every year. That would be nice if we could do that over gohammond.com. So. Oh, you can't hear me? All right. Mayor, I know you're a huge Cubs fan. What are you going to do without sports? It's definitely different. I've been riding my bike a lot more. I mean, it's one good thing. I'm in good shape. So, all right, let's go. We got any other questions? Does anybody have anything they want to bring up? We're starting to run low here. I don't want to lose viewers. Does anybody have anything they want to bring up? I'm looking at your faces right now, hoping somebody bails me out here. Mayor, yes, who's that?
Hey, it's Jaime from Cody.
Hey, Jaime, what's up?
Hey, what's going on?
Thank you for bailing me out. I'm scrambling here. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, no, not a problem. Not a problem.
Jaime's the head of Hammond's Code Enforcement Department, one of our busiest departments in the city. Inspections in general typically has a line every time I walk in City Hall. I walk in City Hall. I've never really looked outside of inspections and seen nobody. So this is a department that's constantly busy. So when we opened up City Hall last week, of course, there's people always waiting for you, right, Jaime?
Absolutely, absolutely. It obviously has gotten busier. We are limiting the amount of people that are at the window. If they're coming in for a permit or rental registration or whatnot, we are asking them to, if they don't have anything filled out yet, to take some forms, go back out to the car, fill them out, come back in, and you can conduct your business. And that's just a way of, keeping our staff and also anybody else that's in City Hall safe throughout this whole ordeal.
All right. That's good news. I appreciate the update, Jaime.
No problem. I also wanted to talk about grass cutting.
Yes, please.
for those people out there. In December of 2019, we did pass a new ordinance where we had a 10-day cut and clean citations. That allows us to go on vacant properties and either it's a vacant lot or a house or whatnot, to go on there, tag the property. In 10 days, if it's not cut, we are able to cut it. This brought timing down through the court system by a month to a month and a half, so that we're doing really well on that right now. So I do just want to let everybody in Facebook land know to please don't forget to cut your grass, and especially cut your alley line grass. You don't want any of these 10-day cuts that we have to do and put a lien on. So, but that's about it. We're doing great, and yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it, Jaime. Next, I want to go to Hammond's Legal Aid Clinic. I have Chris Sakalaris, the head of the Hammond Legal Aid Clinic and my appointee to the Hammond Academy of Science and Technology. I had a question that said, Mayor, will you do a Zoom with HAS students? Of course I'll do a Zoom with HAS students. So I'm throwing that out there right now, and I'm going to let Chris carry that message back to the school board for me. Chris, you're still muted. Could you unmute? Let's see. There you go.
Okay.
Unmuted.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Great.
How you doing?
Okay. Good. First, I want to say that I didn't catch all of the governor today, but my understanding from talking to one of the judicial officers later this afternoon is that the moratorium on evictions is running through June 4th as of right now, although the governor could extend that. As you know, during the shelter in place, we were closed to the public at Legal Aid, but obviously we were still servicing our clients. We just didn't take in any new ones. We're back open now, but we are asking that you call to make an appointment for an application. Generally in the past, we always made you, you can come in anytime for an application, but now we're asking you to make an appointment just so we keep social distancing in our office. The number is 853-6611, and we can tell you how you can go about making that application. We just anticipate that if that order is lifted, that there are going to be some landlords that are going to try to get people out right away, and we'd like to help you if we can. So
Okay.
give us a call. With regard to the school, we have a school board meeting tomorrow, so I will take the message that yes, you'll do a Zoom with the HAS students. And I know you got my note, and I think the tentative date is sometime in June, but we're trying to do a little bit different kind of drive-in graduation for our HAS students, because they were really disappointed that obviously they couldn't have a graduation ceremony like they always would have asked. So, and that'll be out at the pavilion, but everybody will be in their cars, and they're going to have a screen. We're going to have a screen set up so they'll at least see their names. So it'll be kind of
That's
neat.
nice.
Yeah.
That's really cool. What's the date on that?
I think it's June 26th. That was a tentative date that Dr. Egan gave me, but tomorrow it's going to come up at our school board meeting. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. Nice talking to you.
Yep. Good to see you.
Going to Kelly Kearney next. He's the head of the Hammond Inspections Department. Kelly, a couple questions. First off, first question was, do I need a permit to put a dumpster out in front of my house? Good question. Let's see what's going on here. Kelly's muted. There you go.
No, they don't need a permit for the dumpster. They just need to make sure that there's enough room for emergency vehicles to get through. If they put it in a driveway, that's preferred.
Okay. And then contractors want to be able to pull permits online. Is that ever going to be a possibility?
We've had that discussion. It's something that we'd like to do too. With the software and getting in conjunction with all the other departments that would need that has been a challenge. Something we'd love to do. Right now we're doing it by email. If they scan and email the permit applications, and we can process that. It's the payment period that we have to catch up to them and have them pay for the permits at that time.
It sounds like we're giving Chris Campbell a lot of homework in today's meeting, huh?
We've talked for a couple. We've talked several times.
we should strive to do more online for sure. So I think that's a good goal to have in your department. So I appreciate that question from the audience. Thank you, Kelly. Mark McLaughlin, unmute real quick. You're on. Hi, Mark. How's it going?
Hi, Mayor. Fine.
Good
How
to
are
see
you?
Mark is in acting CEO of the Hammond Water Department right now. We have a lot of construction going on with the water tower on Columbia and 165th. Can you talk a little bit about that project, please?
Yeah, after many years of watching that tank rust, we've finally getting a coat of paint on it. We've got some structural issues being resolved now. The paint should go on in the next couple, they'll start in the next couple of weeks. It's all the rigging is up. They're working 7 days a week if they can, weather dependent.
That's great. So it's going to be brand new paint job, brand new tank basically, right? And they last for what, 40, 50 years?
Yes. Yeah, we should have at least a 40-year
So
life.
none of us should have to worry about that tank ever again once we paint it. So
And it'll have a nice college-bound logo on it too.
awesome. All right. Thanks, Mark. Good talking to you. Next, my Hammond Police Chief, JD, has a comment he wants to mention. Hey, Chief, how's it going?
Hey, Mayor. I just wanted to say we've been getting a lot of calls about gun permits because a lot of people are buying guns, as of late, and we just like them to hold off coming in to get processed until the 14th when things get a little more relaxed. It requires a lot of one-on-one time with our desk sergeant and our staff, and we don't feel comfortable doing that right now. You can still buy your gun, take it home, no problem there, owning it legally. But on a gun permit issue, state's slow anyways right now for the same reasons. So just come see us on the 14th.
Sounds good. Thanks, Chief. Appreciate it. All right. Janet Venez wants everybody to know there's a virtual crime, Councilwoman Janet Venez wants everybody to know there's a virtual crime watch May 27th at 5 p.m. on gohammond.com. So if you haven't had enough of this, we got more coming your way, which is great news. Anybody have anything? Let's see. Hold on. I got some text. I want to make sure I cover everything. Oh, thank goodness. Good reminder. Awana, could you unmute real quick? Brian Poland, you unmute also. We had this very important thing going on, and then the coronavirus hit, and then we stopped talking about it. The census, which happens every 10 years. It's in the U.S. Constitution. It's happening this year, and it's vitally important that our residents turn in their form. I mean, if you didn't do it online like I did, you got the paper form sent to you. It's vitally important to send that form back in. Awana, could you do a little better job on this commercial than I just did?
Yes, thanks, Mayor. Right now, a lot of the responses are coming through the internet. Right now in Hammond, we have 58.6% responses. And that's a pretty good number. However, we still have a ways to go.
And they haven't started knocking on doors or anything yet, right?
No, but that's definitely coming because we have like 3 census tracts in our city that are below 40% when it comes down to responses. So they need to, we need to definitely hit those areas harder. That's basically in the 2nd district and a little bit in the 3rd district. So, but yes, the census is definitely very important for the schools, for social services, for libraries, things of that nature. So we definitely encourage individuals to please go online, do it by mail or do it by phone and fill out those census information. It only takes literally 3 to 5 minutes.
Yep. And if you don't like people pounding on your door, just fill it out and get it in, and they won't come.
Exactly.
Thank you, Awana. Brian, could you add to that? Brian Poland's appointed to the Census Committee at the City of Hammond also. How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing well, thank you. The point I guess I wanted to make is that the enumerators are probably going to start coming out sometime in June. Those are the ones who will be knocking on your door just to have that information filled out. The best way, of course, especially under our current circumstances, is to go online, to fill out the forms, 2020census.gov is the main website. You can get to the place to fill out the forms. There's telephone numbers. You can do it that way. And then, of course, those that got the forms in the mail, that is always the easiest way to do it, too.
Thank you very much, Brian. Another question I get asked constantly is about college-bound. Are you going to lower the number of hours for college-bound students because of the lockdown? And so I know I get asked this question a lot, which means, of course, our college-bound coordinator, Sharon Daniels, gets asked this question a lot. Sharon, could you unmute and enlighten us with college-bound requirements this year?
Good evening, Mayor. Yes, college bound, no change in hours. Everybody's required to do the 40 hours of community service. And the application deadline is July 2nd. It's a Thursday this year because of the way the 4th falls.
Okay, so they still have to turn in their application July 2nd, and then they have until when to do their 40 hours of community service?
So the current college students have until August 31st to do their hours, and the incoming freshmen or high school graduates have until December 31st to complete the hours.
And a lot of kids already, way before the pandemic, had knocked off, some kids that knocked off all their hours even before the pandemic, right?
Absolutely. I've always get students that want to do it over Christmas break, spring break. I had kids lining up students lining up outside the door this week wanting to get their hours scheduled once everything was opening up in City Hall.
Yep. So, and we've done the math. It's like $250 an hour these college students are being paid to do their community service. It's something that we take very seriously. It's a prerequisite. You have to do 40 hours community service for this college-bound scholarship, right?
Absolutely. They're at the marina already. They're at the golf course. They're at Public Works this week. There's a few in City Hall. They're getting them done, and it's a requirement for everybody.
Okay. Thank you very much for the update, Sharon. Appreciate it. We are running short. Dean Button, if nobody has any more questions, by the way, seems like things are slowing down on the internet, and I want Dean to give us an update on what's going on with the construction project over there at Gosselin, Chicago Avenue. Dean, could you go ahead and give us an update?
Sure, Mayor, thank you. So it's a $9 million project, but it's 80% funded by the state. It's the project limits are Gosselin at the state line, east to Sheffield, south to Marble Street, or just south of the CSX track. So across the NICD tracks, across the CSX tracks to Marble Street. Contractors Grimmer Construction out of Highland. American Structure Point is the designer and doing the inspection for us. It really is going to be the gateway area for the Westlake and the transit-oriented development property that could develop in that area. There'll be a new roundabout at Sheffield and Gosselin as part of this phase. And this phase will go until August of 21. So it's 15 more months of construction. Similarly, Mayor, the final phase of Chicago Street, which starts at Marble Street and Sheffield south to Chicago Street, and then east to Torrance, almost to Calumet Avenue. That project will bid in December, and they'll start working on that in the spring of 21, and that's about a 18-month construction period too.
All right, thanks for the update, Dean. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I've been asked to remind everybody that we have an election on June 2nd. June 2nd is like any ordinary election day, except for we're going to be wearing masks and gloves and socially distancing. But that takes place on Tuesday, June 2nd, which is 13 days away. I know that off the top of my head for some strange reason. There is a 1-week early vote period before that, 6 days of early voting. It starts the day after Memorial Day. So Tuesday coming up, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday, 6 days of early voting take place. And that's in 11 locations in Lake County, one location in Porter County, one location in LaPorte County, excuse me. And then election day is your normal voting precinct. So that happens very shortly here. Every time I start talking, I always get something in my throat. So that's happening. Excuse me. I can't talk right now. I got something in my throat. I apologize. Does anybody else have anything? No? Oh, Mark, please, Mark.
Mayor, I just wanted to give an update. Similarly, Dean reminded as you're talking about the Chicago Avenue project over in the 2nd District, and this is normally, I think, the 2nd District Mayor's Night Out here that we normally had. So Irving Park construction project is still underway. We've been continuing that. We're hoping that everything gets wrapped up there by about the 4th of July. So that is something that's coming. Overall, when that's done, we will have 2 new basketball courts there, a new futsal court, which is a soccer court, a half-mile walking path. We've made improvements to the baseball field. We have a new playground there as well, and a lot of different parking. If you haven't been in that area recently, Irving Park Drive used to be a thoroughfare through the park, if you will. There, it's going to be split up into 2 different parking areas, so it'll no longer be a through road along the park, between the park and the toll road in that location there. So just as an update for the 2nd District and everyone here in the city.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Anybody else got anything before we wrap up here?
Mayor?
I have one thing to add, Mayor.
Sure.
We're finishing, well, we have a $14 million construction project here going on inside the plant to our headworks building. It's the main building. It sits on Columbia Avenue. That's where all the sewer lines come into and before they're directed throughout the rest of the plant. It's a major electrical upgrade, so that's why the cost is so high. But that project is coming along really, really well. And as I talked about before, we were able to take some of the old Minus facade and incorporate it into the building. So it really looks really, really nice.
Great. Thank you very much, Marty. Appreciate that upgrade. And then Awana had something she wanted to report on also.
Yes, the Indiana Department of Health will be conducting a COVID-19 drive-through testing at Morton High School, 6915 Grand Avenue, right here in Hammond, starting tomorrow through the 23rd from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. All individuals must be an Indiana resident and show their Indiana driver's license or state ID. Those individuals could be first responders, healthcare workers, essential workers, anyone with underlying conditions. Basically, anyone can go over there and take the test.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it, Awana. Anybody else? Go once, going twice.
I'll go, Mayor.
All right, who's that?
It's Megan.
Hey, Megan, what's up?
I just wanted to remind everybody, talking about animal licenses again, that deadline was extended to June 1st, and rental registrations were also extended to June 1st, and that form is accessible at gohammond.com, so you can print that out and have that ready to go, so you can go through the line quicker downstairs and then come straight up to us for payment. So I just wanted to remind everybody.
Thanks, appreciate it. Going once?
Mayor,
I appreciate it. What's that?
Mayor, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey, Matt.
Can you turn it down a little bit more? Hey, I just wanted to tell everybody that, sorry, we're having technical problems. I just want to tell everybody that the Commission on Disabilities is having a blood drive on Friday, June 5th from 12 to 6 at the Hammond Sportsplex. So I know that there's a blood shortage nationwide. Please show up and donate.
That's great. Thank you, Matt. You and Marty must be right next to each other, huh? Okay. Anybody else? All right. I want to thank everybody. We had a lot of people watching, a lot of comments come in. I want to thank the department heads for getting on here. We made it work. So virtual Mayor's Night Out is done. We appreciate it. Don't forget June 2nd is Election Day. You could still get a mail-in vote by tomorrow. If you wait till after tomorrow, you have to show up to early vote, or you have to show up on Election Day at your precinct. So thank you, everybody. Let's keep working hard for the citizens of Hammond. Stay safe, wash your hands, wear your PPE, properly social distance, don't touch your face. Bye, everybody. Thank you very much.